This is such a good deal, Canadiens fans, that if this were $8.5 million times 6, we'd be having like the same reaction. We got some big news this morning, and it stunned us, and we both had the same reaction. There's a new Connor McDavid in Canada, and his name is Lane Hutson, because Lane Hutson took a sweetheart of a deal with the Montreal Canadiens. He extended for 8 times $8.5 million per. And our reaction right off the rip was he wanted to stay. He loves it. And not only did he want to stay, he's been poking around, seeing the news, seeing what people have said about other guys who have dragged out, and seeing what people are starting to say about his situation, which, I mean, we're part of it because we were like, Lane Hutson, fuck the Canadiens. Bet, like, drag this out. They have lowballed you. You have won this negotiation. Now win as much as you possibly can. And instead, he takes a discount. Like, simple as that. $8.5 million times 8 is a discount. So, Canadiens fans, you are
8.85.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Canadiens fans, you love that guy forever.
I mean, we talked about this last week, but like, wasn't the report that he turned down, like, or he was willing to accept like Noah Dobson, like a little bit under Noah Dobson in the offseason, and the Canadiens said no?
I think so, yeah.
And now, like, this is even lower than what we assumed that to be. So, yeah, it seems very clear he wanted to stay in Montreal. Like, unbelievable job by the Canadiens to get this done. I hate that he did them a favor, but, like, we've done a lot of comparing deals to deals and being like, Connor McDavid and makes everybody else's deal look like they took a huge bargain. Well, Lane Hutson just took less than Luke Hughes.
Crazy.
Which is fucking wild to me.
But on the Dobson thing, this is still like a really good contract in that he gets a ton of money, and he gets a ton of money soon. $55 million in signing bonuses. I want to say it pays $23 million in the first 366 days of the contract. So in some ways, like he has way more signing bonus.
It's his money, and he wants it now.
Yeah, like more signing bonus than Dobson, who had $38 million, Suzuki, $10 million, Caulfield, $10 million, Slavkovsky, $10 million. So the Canadiens, at least to their credit, like, made up for it a little in that he took such a lower AAV than he had to. But look, like, this is a guy who, what were we saying last week? We were like, the second Bouchard signs that contract, you're like, all right, if you're signing me for 8 years, you're giving me that number, $10.5 million. And to do it for 8.5, again, I keep repeating myself, but Canadiens fans, be happy that you've got a player who loves and believes in that team. Like Lane Hutson, humanitarian of the year.
Well, behind Connor McDavid. He's runner-up.
Yes. We'll also note richest 10-2C contract in NHL history, which means that I don't think he was able to be offer sheeted anyway. So, Sean, the dream.
Yeah.
The dream is now officially dead. But damn, like, this is what a get. Canadiens get Lane Hutson, as you said, for less than Luke Hughes is going to be making.
Yeah. I mean, if you had to pick Lane Hutson, Luke Hughes, Jackson Lacombe.
I'm taking the Calder winner.
I'm being newfangled in taking Lane Hutson.
Yeah.
But I bet some people are taking Jackson Lacombe.
I bet a lot of people love Jackson Lacombe and enough to put him above Lane Hutson, but just based off of what we saw last year and even before that at BC, like, Lane Hutson takes over games like very few defensemen are able to do at the NHL level. $8.85 million for 8 years is bananas. He's like, that's 8 years starting next year.
Yeah.
So they've got this guy for almost a decade at very, very cheap money.
Sean, Sam in the chat says that it's because they have palm trees and no income tax in Montreal. Famously, very, very good financial situation to sign contracts in Canada versus the United States.
Yeah.
Very, very good.
Yep. Dollar's real strong up there.
I'll tell you what, though, I love it. Like, I don't want there to be messiness with the Canadiens. And I definitely didn't want there, and clearly he didn't either. I definitely don't want there to be, like, contract drama with Lane Hutson, who just seems like the sweetest boy in the world.
I was gonna say, like,
You're
how
not beating those allegations now.
Yeah.
He's
It
like,
seemed-
I just get this done. I don't want it to be on like a distraction at all for this team this season.
it
Crazy.
seems like there was a little bit of like a reaction to the Kirill Kaprizov contract where people are like, I don't want to be the asshole that's getting paid too much. How little do you think Kirill Kaprizov would have had to make or taken for that not to be the reaction? Because like if he had taken 14 mil, do you think people would be like, this guy's an asshole? And
No.
thus, do you think
definitely not.
other players would be taking more because they're not like they don't have it in their mind being the asshole that Kirill Kaprizov quote unquote is?
I think
I don't
16
mind.
million 16 million if we first found out that he turned down 15 million, because like it's the
was
offered the huge deal, said no, and then went up $1 million.
Yeah. I just feel like with each passing day, Kirill Kaprizov looks more and more like an asshole. And that's not me saying that Kirill Kaprizov is an asshole, but it's just like the structure of salaries in the NHL now making Kirill Kaprizov look like an asshole. I never blame a guy for getting his bag and leveraging his situation as best he can. But boy,
If Kirill Kaprizov was taking $14 million, do you think Jack Eichel's making 12 and a half, whatever he took? Like, do you think?
no,
think,
I think that Jack
I
Eichel
saw
would
this
like.
basketball book, and Jack Eichel's got to be like, yo, man, like you got to know who I am.
yeah,
I'm getting,
but like,
I still kind of can't believe that Jack Eichel.
I guess ultimately my point is that Kirill Kaprizov's contract was so high that it just becomes irrelevant to every other contract negotiation. Whereas, like, if it had been 14, if you're Jack Eichel, you're like, you can throw me another $1.5 million.
Trebs in the chat says, so why aren't we bitching about that like when Panthers take discounts? I am politely going to say that conversation, at least as it relates to this show, is a figment of your imagination. We have never complained about Panthers players taking discounts. I have been annoyed with the technicality of Gary Bettman saying that the no stake income tax thing doesn't affect contracts when everybody, agents, Panthers players say, of course it does. But like, that's fine. That's the rule. They're allowed to do it.
Right.
That's fine. We've never, I mean, Pete, you wouldn't give a fuck about that. Like, we're never like, oh no, like the Gadjevich contract, he should have been making like $250,000. What the fuck do we care? We
And-
don't complain about that. I don't think anyone complains about that.
No, and when you play for a good team, like there's a lot of precedent of guys taking less money to stay on a good team. What are you laughing at?
A comment that we're not going to publish.
No, my computer just crashed, so that's great. Somebody
I don't know if
had
it's that
said,
inappropriate.
Bill Guerin's just looking for a way out of this Kirill Kaprizov contract.
That's the way to
Methinks.
paraphrase. Yeah.
I just feel like, I don't know. It's somebody, Ambassador Grease asked, like, why are all these young players taking such long deals? Hudson, Hughes, Vlasic, Nazar. I mean, like, part of it might be the fact that you can get 8 years now.
They grew up in the Dennis Schroeder
Hughes took
era.
7.
They grew up in the Dennis Schroeder era.
Yeah, but I also just think that, like, if you can secure a bag right now and get that extra year, why not? Let me ask you this. What deal on the surface surprises you more, Ekblad or Marchand?
I mean, Marchand is the most surprising contract maybe in NHL history. The sons of bitches did it. They signed everybody. Panthers keep Bennett, then they keep Ekblad, and now Brad Marchand, 37 years young, signs a 6-year contract worth Trent Frederick money. Under $32 million. Our guy is going to play forever. Pete, Florida Panthers are psychos.
I can't believe it. Bill Zito said that there was a good opportunity that there was a path for them to keep all three guys, Bennett, Ekblad, and Marchand. I thought he was psychotic. I thought he was just like wishful thinking, just throwing it out into the universe. By God, some way they managed to make it happen. you can say whatever you want about state taxes, but this is not a state tax thing. This is a committing to what they're building there. The state taxes help. I see you shaking your head. The state
It is a state tax thing, but yes, go on.
It's not. It's a tiny little part.
Among other things, it's a state tax thing.
It's a tiny little part. But yeah, I'm stunned that they've managed to keep all three guys. A 6-year contract extension for Brad Marchand at age 37. If you had told me that he was going to get 6 years, we were kind of crazy, like eyebrows going up over the 4th year, him getting the 4th year, thinking that it was a big win for him. Obviously, the money and the years kind of balance out a little bit here, but him getting a 6-year deal to make this work is stunning.
Okay, I'm going to quickly address the state tax thing so we don't have to talk about it again. I've realized there are no people who actually cry about state taxes. There's people who acknowledge they exist, and there's people who don't want to hear it. And I think that both of those sides are fine, but it does exist. And players, including Brad Marchand, is on record saying, if two things are the same, I'm taking the one that has no state income tax. Anyway, happy for Brad Marchand. Here's the thing. Late in the playoffs, I was big time team sign Bennett and sign nobody else. Definitely let Ekblad walk. He's going to cost too much money, and it's going to hurt like hell because he was their best player in the Cup final, but also let Brad Marchand walk because he's going to go get top dollar somewhere since he's been underpaid his entire career. Then with like 2 days left in the season, I looked at the Panthers draft pick situation for the next however many years, and I looked at their prospects for the next however many years. They have nothing. The move is absolutely to sign everybody if you can. And it's crazy gymnastics they're going to have to do. Maybe Evan Rodriguez gets traded here. They're already over the cap just by doing this. So they're going to have to get rid of people. They're going to need to figure out their goaltending situation the next couple of years. But right now, it's not like if they kept cap flexibility, they'd be able to go trade for guys anyway. What are you trading? You have no first round picks the next 3 years. You have a couple of seconds in 2 years, but those are your only picks, I think, in the first 3 rounds the next few years. So it seems crazy, and it's definitely not sustainable, SpongeBob font. But the Panthers' move is to try to go for like a half dynasty or a mini dynasty or whatever you want to call it. Right now, if you were to ask me, is this thing going to still be going in 5-6 years? I would say it could with a lot of luck, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be going for the next 2-3 years.
I mean, at this rate, we might need a lot of luck for life to be going in the next 5 to 6 years. So just go for it while you got the window. Yeah, you're looking at maybe like a handful of years down the road. It could be real sad and real bleak in Florida with an absolute graveyard of a roster situation there. But I mean, the past 2 years, 3 years, you could argue, like they've had one of the more dominant playoff teams of this era. And now they're keeping the big guys around. And I think it's worth it, especially when you consider, like you said, they've got nothing coming. So just keep this door open, overpay guys on the back end, or just like extend yourself further than you might want to. Like if they're going to take those shorter AAV contracts, like the lower numbers, keep it going and build what you've got because it's clearly special right now.
And who would know just taking never-ending kicks at the can like Brad Marchand? He went from the Bruins, who are the ultimate team of doing that, which were like, nah, we're not gonna get younger. We're not gonna bring young guys in. We're just gonna keep push it forward. We try to win now, constantly in win now mode. The Panthers are going to be that. I don't know what deadlines are going to look like for them. I don't know what future summers are going to look like for them because I also don't know how many of these guys, because like if they get themselves into a Vegas situation where they're like, all right, we're going to trade Carter Verhaeghe now, or we're going to like peel off whichever guy they want to like have to move on from, then I don't know how many of those guys they have. I think they're going to be not quite stuck with them, but like this is their roster. This is who they're going to have. And I think they're probably going to have another Stanley Cup to show for it, so that's worth it to me.
Let me ask you this. What deal on the surface surprises you more, Ekblad or Marchand?
I mean, Marchand is the most surprising contract maybe in NHL history.
Is that just because of the length?
Yes, and because of the term. Brad Marchand didn't get a raise. The highest he'll have ever been paid was the biggest underpayment in the planet when he was on that last deal. That's the most he'll ever make in his NHL career. Insane to me. But if he's
Year to
happy,
year
I'm
for
happy.
sure. But like, yeah, I mean, yeah, like on a year-to-year basis, AAV basis, but like him getting those extra years at the end is the raise. Like that's the raise right there. The Ekblad thing is really interesting to me because I would honestly like the 6 years stunned me for Marchand, but Ekblad taking as much of a discount on an AAV as he did. And I know that he said he bleeds and tears, sweat, all that bodily fluids for the Panthers. I believed him when he
Allegedly.
said it. Yeah, so I believed him when he said it, but ultimately taking like $2 million less on the AAV per year, and then I, I don't know. Like I was more expecting him to just kind of cash in free agency and not being able to turn down how much he was going to make on the open market on a weak right shot defenseman market. I'm kind of shocked that he ended up staying there.
Yeah, I mean, I have so much respect for him doing this, but I think he's freaking crazy for doing this. And I know he will save a lot because he's playing in a no tax state, but still, you're definitely getting 8 million a year, I think. And
Yeah.
whether that would also be in a no tax state or what, but you're getting 8, but you're not getting 8 years. So that is where it does kind of get made up there, where he gets that extra year. But also, like, Gustav Forsling needs him, definitely. If he left, that was going to be a huge loss because like, I don't think that Aaron Ekblad's that good, but Gustav Forsling needs him. He is the Gustav Forsling whisperer. I think he also kind of needs Gustav Forsling. I don't think he wants to go somewhere and make a lot of money and just immediately be thought of as not great. The story with Ekblad is that he's going to break down. I don't want it to become, though, the Aaron Ekblad sucks party, and there's no chance that happens in Florida. He's like, some players bet on themselves. He bet that being happy is better than being rich. So I respect that.
They both
It's insane.
They both kind of did.
Yeah, I mean, Marchand could have done 4 times 9, let's say, and that's $36 million. That's more money on 2 fewer years than he ends up getting doing a 6 times whatever, close to $6 million. And then Panthers, they're doing $20 million about total for Sam Bennett, Aaron Ekblad, and Brad Marchand. If you were to tell me this a few years ago, I'd be very confused as to what you were talking about. But those 3 coming off that cup and coming off of what Marchand did, like Chris Johnston said with us that he was hearing, don't be surprised if somebody goes to $10 million a year for Brad Marchand. Do you know how much he must love Florida that he didn't wait till tomorrow to find out if that was going to happen? That's the you're crazy that I give Brad Marchand. The you're crazy I give Aaron Ekblad is doing this. For Marchand, I'm like, man, you sure you didn't want to sleep on it and see just how much more money you could have gotten?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right though. Like the opposite of asshole tax is like happiness tax, and that's what the Florida Panthers are cashing in on right now. All of their guys are happy. They all love each other. They want to stay there. They want to keep the band together, and this is what it looks like. And like, good for them. And my God, that's pretty. I do give a ton of respect to a guy, especially Ekblad, a guy who could have easily gone somewhere and, like you mentioned, been a big ticket signing, but immediately been in the firing line because of that, because of the expectations that come in a new market that may be unfamiliar with you. They just see what you sign for. You're expected to go in there and be a savior, and none of that's going to apply to him. And maybe he left some money on the table, but his happiness factor in Florida and the headaches per 60 are probably going to be so much lower. So good bit of business for the Florida Panthers, and I give the credit to the players for kind of seeing where their best state of being or state of happiness is and staying there.
Sean, you're a cat guy. Again, the conversation went from keep flexibility to, you know what? Flexibility for what? What do you think of all this?
I mean, I agree. I agree with everything you said about how like they had no other option. So you might as well. And my biggest thing with the Panthers and why I love them so much is I want to see greatness. I want to see a dynasty. And there's so much talk about or there was so much talk in the immediate aftermath of the Cup about whether or not they were. And a part of being a dynasty is having the same cast of characters. So the fact that they can repeat all of this or have a chance to repeat all of this and potentially win their third straight Stanley Cup or win their third Stanley Cup in however many years if they don't win next year, is exciting for me as a fan.
Yeah, and I like that what's cool about this is no matter what, at the end of it, to kind of Disneyify it, they turn back into the Florida Panthers, which is a bunch of old guys who are huge names. You're like, hey, remember, do you know that so-and-so is on the Panthers now? You know that Yager is playing with the Panthers? It's going to be, hey, you know Marchand's on the Panthers? Aaron Ekblad, he went back to the Panthers. It looked, you'd walk into that room and you'd see all these legends sitting around, except they were the guys that 3 years ago were just winning Stanley Cups with them. So they're gonna maybe win more, and then they're just gonna have this kind of club of all NHL legends who are making $6+ million.
My last thought on this is that it probably makes July 1st a little bit less interesting because you've got Marchand coming off the board, Ekblad coming off the board, and those were going to be big tickets, and obviously Marner as well. I do wonder how the rest of the Eastern Conference now reacts to those guys staying in Florida. Because if you're the rest of the Eastern Conference and you feel like you were knocking on the door, like you're a Maple Leafs, you're a Hurricanes, or whoever else, what do you do now? They just kept those guys. They're going to run it back. So, what is your plan of attack to close that gap this year? And I don't know what the answer is, but it could make for an interesting rest of the summer.
You knock on the door. I've learned this as a fan, and I've learned it from covering stuff. Never try to time your team around another team because you just don't know.
We all silly like the mayor.
If he gets to be a 30, 35 goal scorer regularly, this is a great contract. And if he's playing with Nathan MacKinnon every year, I think he can be that. Want to do the breaking news, Pete?
Yes.
Breaking news is Colorado Avalanche and Martin Necas have completed an 8-year contract worth $11.5 million annually.
All's well that ends well. It's worth it to save that $500,000.
Apparently so. What's Rantanen's cap hit
12.
again?
I believe it's 12.
All right. So they saved money. There you go.
Can't argue with it. Who would you rather have? $500,000. That's who I'd rather have. I kid.
Kroenke needs that money. He's struggling.
No state income tax. Got to point out.
There's no state income tax
Is there?
in Colorado?
No, I'm just saying for Rantanen. So maybe he wouldn't have taken. Maybe he wouldn't have taken 12 in Colorado.
I believe it was documented he would have taken 12.
That's a crazy situation.
Bungled situation, but I will say they adjusted and they reacted and they fixed it as best they could.
Also,
from where they were 2 days ago, what do you do now about Martin Necas? Sign him, give him 11-ish. They give him 11.5. Fine. The situation went wrong, but I think that it's a decent recovery. All in all, I give them a C- for the whole thing, maybe a D+ when that was very easily cruising towards F-ville.
So here's I get what you're saying, but here's where I differ there. Is I just don't think that Martin Necas is a $11.5 million player. Maybe I'm proved wrong. He's not an $11.5 million player in my book. I think he's like a B tier player.
I think that he's a cleanup with Nathan MacKinnon player, though. And
that's
a lot of people could be.
And they've found that it works. Then, keep it there, keep playing. But they definitely bungled this situation, and this is the best that they could do after that fact.
Also, Necas is such a first month of the season merchant. Not in the sense that he gets bad afterwards, but he's the second straight season where he's had a really strong start to the season and gotten paid for it more or less.
I also I want to see. I'm glad that this is off the table, that we can stop talking about Martin Necas and where he wants to play and if he wants to play anywhere, because not only did he get this 8-year deal, the first 7 years have a no movement clause as well. So we can throw away the possibility that like maybe the Colorado Avalanche will just dump him like next year.
I do see what you're saying, where the cap hit is a little high, but it's an 8-year deal, and you have to remember that this isn't a 29-year-old player you're extending. This isn't a guy who's coming off of like an entry-level contract and then a longer second deal. He's a guy coming off an ELC and then a bridge. He's 26 years old. Turns 27 this year, but like you're signing him for 27 to 35 if my math is mathing correctly. If he gets to be a 30, 35 goal scorer regularly, this is a great contract. And if he's playing with Nathan MacKinnon every year, I think he can be that. I just don't want, I want it on record that I'm not poo-pooing your reservations about the cap hit, because it should make you make a little face.
And I'll put it on record that like my brain is still getting adjusted to the new numbers and the new salary cap structure and which tier players belong in which brackets. And it's not made any clearer by the wild discrepancy in contracts that we've seen over the past year.
That's what I was going to say. Is I wonder to what extent like front offices are also going through that process of figuring out where things are going to be, what players are worth, especially after you have like really good players taking discounts, and also the Kaprizov.
You can't have the Kaprizov contract dictate what happens with the rest of the league. For one, basketball book, and for two, he's just so far off from what his peers are, and not even his peers. Like, I do not consider, maybe you could consider Jack Eichel a peer of Kirill Kaprizov, but Connor McDavid is not a peer of Kirill Kaprizov. But basketball book, Connor McDavid's situation is way different. He 100%. Intentionally did not take a pay raise. But if you want to live in the world of Kaprizov is worth $17 million, is Martin Necas worth $11.5 million? Yeah. Like, right. It's on the higher end of what he deserves. R. Lee Upper 90 in the chat providing some valuable information to this conversation that I think we were forgetting. Cap is going up. They do say that. People forget.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of part of the discussion here. It's that we're adjusting to like a new NHL world, and you want to throw out the Kaprizov contract because it's just not a realistic comparable at this point. I think that's fair. I think that you also have to throw out the McDavid contract because it's not a realistic comparable. Like, that's what I'm saying. Our brains are just so fucking all over the place, and if you have a cork board of like what is the new salary cap structure in the NHL, the webs that are being weaved and tangled here are just so hard to make sense of, and my brain is not adjusted to it yet.
Crazier than they've ever been. I mean, time was Jonathan Toews and Patrick Kane would sign matching contracts for about, I think it was 10 million or 10.5 million, whatever it was. And it shocked a lot of people. And you looked at that and you said, well, those guys make that. Bergeron makes $1 million or $2 million less. And everything kind of did settle in nicely. We are in a more confusing time than we ever have been cap-wise, but I typically default to, if you're a cup contender and you have the player, keep the player. You have to make tough decisions at points, but they made a tough decision on Nazem Kadri. They made a tough decision on Mikko Rantanen that proved to be, I could say, disastrous. So, like, how many tough decisions can you make? I think they got themselves to a point where he had to be the guy that they kept, even if he wasn't their favorite of the bunch, because you can't just keep losing the players. Because when you traded Mikko Rantanen, you did not get commensurate value. There's no way you can. If you trade a top 5, 6, 7 player in the league, you don't get one back. So they're kind of stuck where I think they had to sign him. Is the number a little high? I agree with you, yes. But I'm on board with this. I support it.
But you support it with the assumption that he's going to be a 30-goal scorer or like a mid-30 goal scorer playing alongside McKinnon. And yeah, like the results have been great to start this season. He's also shooting 31.8%.
Oh, no.
So like it's going to come back down. He's only hit 28 goals is his career high. He had 27 last year, played half the season with McKinnon. So like where how realistic is the assumption that he's going to be a 30 to 35 goal guy every year?
Part of it is age. Part of it is age because a lot of players like Brad Marchand didn't start becoming galactical scorers until they were in their mid to late 20s. And I'd have to look with Marchand, but he was probably right around 27, 28 when he started to become that kind of regular 30-goal guy. There's not a doubt, though. There's so much projection in this, and baked into it is the fact that he's younger than guys are when they're typically signing these contracts, like this like big pre-walk year deal. So I would have done it is as far as I will go. I won't say I'm super confident in it, but I think that it is the work that had to be done. And as I said at the beginning of this conversation, it's a bit of a recovery on the part of the Avalanche front office that they kind of had to do.
Do you think that they do this deal if the free agent class does not get like decimated before this point?
Fair, good question. You think they're like, well, like Rantanen was never coming cheap, clearly.
Yeah.
Eichel, that would have been cool as hell, but I think that's just unrealistic.
But further to your point, like what else can you do? Like what else can you do other than sign the guy that you have and who like is what you got back for Rantanen? That's they painted themselves into a corner more or less. And
there's precedent for like Boston trades Sagan for Louis Eriksson, and Louis good for a couple of years there. He's really good in his walk year, and they're just like, you know what? We're just not in love with this guy though. Like this is not our guy, so they don't sign him, and that worked out because he wasn't good after that. But then they were just they were just a worse team. They traded a player, didn't keep the player that they got back for him, and then it's like, okay, so to bring it back to the Avalanche, are you just going to have Mikko Rantanen's value vanish into thin air? They're kind of stuck where they have to sign him. We'll talk more about this, though. Very fascinating. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to What Chaos here on YouTube. You will get everything, daily episodes, player interviews, and so much more. It's all here on the What Chaos YouTube. Hit subscribe.
I don't think always home whites. I think that it should be on a team-by-team basis, and teams that have their best jersey in white should wear that at home.
We got a ton more jersey developments. The Bruins jerseys, as the preseason has started, have now been seen in action. Sean, do we have any picks? Yeah, look at that.
So good.
Look how nice.
So good.
Look at that.
The away jerseys are
at it.
One of the best uniforms in hockey now.
What do you think of that, Pete?
Oh, okay. You made the logo even bigger, and I did not notice that's how big the logo is normally.
It is huge.
Go back.
And it looks almost distracting. Or not distracting. It looks like it actually could be cumbersome for the players because I was watching, and that B is fucking flying around and like hitting them in the arms and like brushing up against parts of their jersey.
Because it's not like a breakaway jersey.
No,
it's
that's
like
it's a hard
embroidered
thing
patch.
that's hitting. Granted, like people are hitting them and pucks are hitting them, so they can take it, and they're wearing padding. But I'm waiting for a player to say off the record something that like it's uncomfortable.
Well, it's going to be like when the NBA had the new balls.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say when MLB had their new pants.
True.
When everyone is just like...
But I don't think that was like a performance thing. That was like I don't want everybody to see my dick.
But it was also like they stopped making custom measurements for the pants and stuff too. So like guys weren't getting tailored pants anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if the players start talking, it'll change.
Yeah, and I cannot wait to blame any of the Bruins struggles on just the logo being too big.
Yeah.
On there.
Could you imagine if last year, if like Nikita Zadorov breaks his stick trying to clear the puck and then they immediately give up a game-winning goal? Like,
the logo
crest.
is in the way.
I mean, I could imagine that happening. Just
I can imagine every
period.
part of that, yeah. I don't have to.
I did get some light confirmation that the logo and crest is factually too big. It was a production error, and they made the crest too big on these jerseys. So, like, they are about 15 to 20% larger than like any other crest in the NHL. So I would expect that will be fixed at some point in the nearish future.
I'm going to be a journalist here. do you believe that?
I
you
do
think
believe that.
Some do, because someone might say that if the jersey's getting criticized or people are saying that's too big.
No,
Yeah,
I trust who it came from.
Okay.
And the motivations that would be the lack of motivation that would be behind that.
Okay. I think that I think it's cool that it's that big, but I like seriously do, from watching it in action, I do wonder if a player or two is going to be like, yo, this is too big. This is uncomfortable. Other than that, though, it's a 9 out of 10 jersey. It looks great.
So good.
One of the best in the league.
Will say I'm pissed off because you brought this up last week, Pete, about how potentially they left that empty shoulder for the sponsor patch, and they didn't. They still had their normal sponsor patch at the normal spot. And the asymmetrical shoulder patches is the dumbest thing of all time. There is no legitimate argument for it.
Yeah, I don't love it. I don't love the blank spot. Like, I like keeping it blank. If you want to move your advertisement
Yeah,
there.
if you wanted to fill it up
Like,
with something and it not be
yeah.
blank, that's fine. Or have no shoulder patches at all, also fine.
How do we think of the shoulder patch that is there?
I think it's sick. This is such a good jersey. It's like, I still don't
It's
think it's
not my
top five.
I can't like it because I know what it replaced.
Yes, exactly.
It replaced the crack bear, and it's just, I've been wanting that back for so long, and right here, it's just like, it's right here. Just put that on the shoulder patch.
Have you considered that they didn't want to, shoot their load on this too early because the crack bear is going to be an important part of another jersey they have to release later this year?
Are
Potentially.
you saying?
Yeah.
I'm obviously saying
I
that with
mean,
no
if
information.
there were ever a place to
Yeah.
roll out crack bear in its full form, it would be Florida.
We got
And-
another
and
salesman.
stadiums.
in the-
Florida man of bears.
We got
Yeah.
another journalist in the chat, WTG Paul, thinking the same thing. Blaming the plant for your mistake is a classic salesman behavior.
Like he's saying that the
someone
team is,
could be passing the buck.
maybe, but all I know is I believe that it is in fact too big.
Oh yeah, and you said 15-20%. That's exactly what it looks like. It looks like it is 15 to 20% too big, but it's still an awesome jersey,
Yeah.
and it looks great.
I think that they should wear those at home.
I agree.
Yeah,
That was also, I was going to say
always
that with,
home whites.
with the
No,
Utah.
I disagree with that. I don't think
Oh, yeah,
I don't think always home whites. I think that it should be on a team by team basis, and teams that have their best jersey in white should wear that at home. Like
I
the
agree. That's a
Detroit
lot.
Red
That
Wings
happens
should
a lot in the
wear
NFL.
the Detroit Red Wings should wear their white jersey at home.
I mean, I've
the
said this
Boston
before.
Bruins should now wear their white jersey at home, and there
Utah.
are several other teams that like I think that the Winnipeg Jets should do it because
Yeah,
they do the white out in the playoffs.
It always drives me fucking insane when teams do a colored theme for their crowd and then don't match.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Why would you do that?
Yeah.
I've said it before. I think Utah should wear their home whites. A, because the whites are better than the blacks.
Excuse me,
Shout out Pete.
Yeah,
And
that's Pete's line.
B, like I said earlier, it seemed like so much of their brand is inspired by kind of like the snow and the mountains, and they're new. Do the home whites.
Yeah, I take back saying that it should always be home whites, but I grew up on home whites, and that's what I don't know.
I know that like a lot of people use the nostalgia play as the reason why they want home whites to come back. I think that I heard it a week or two ago. Somebody said that they want the home whites because it's exciting as a fan to see other teams' colors come in and them play in their in like those primary colored jerseys. So that makes sense to me too. I just don't want it. I just don't want every team to wear white at home. I want it to be like a number of teams' thing.
Yeah, I agree. I also agree that we should have more primary versus primary, more red versus blue. And not always, but I think like we should get a red versus blue Red Wings and Leafs game at least once a year. And well, the other thing I was going to say is like as far as the wearing white at home, similar to like baseball wearing the city name on their jerseys on the road, like you should want to represent your city, your brand, your colors when you're going to battle, not when you're at home where everyone's already representing that stuff.
You're going to plant your flag.
Yes.
I like it a lot. Ranger Centennial jerseys, what do we think?
It's just a Rangers jersey. I don't love the collar. The collar is way too thick. I think I said it makes them look like nuns. I stand by that. Other than that, it's just like a boring Rangers jersey.
We've got to do away with the mandated shield on the like chest of the collar of the jersey.
yeah,
That
like the
they
neckline.
could. I'm not giving whoever made this jersey a pass, but without that, they could have done different stuff. Without that shield needing to be there, I feel like go maybe a little thinner on the collar.
I mean,
I
if
just
it's
think
not
that
if it's not there, you can use the lace. You can use the lace neckline.
Yeah.
Like in the Rangers' home jerseys, like their regular home jerseys, I believe they use lace.
yeah, I think
Yeah,
they do
I just
too.
hate that
It's
they-
a red and it's
Yeah,
like a red
yeah.
collar, and then they have.
I hate that they mix the light blue and dark blue. I just pick a side.
I don't mind this jersey at all outside of the neckline.
Yeah, I think that it is. If we have to give it a good or bad, which is I think something we should start doing with jerseys. This is a good jersey.
Good jersey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sean, begrudging.
Doesn't offend me.
Like I would probably lean. Like, it would probably like land if there's a spectrum closer to the middle than good.
Yeah.
but
Yeah, I
it's
agree.
not
I-
a bad
but
jersey
that's-
by any means.
Okay.
All right, let's go to one that is an even tougher call. Sean, give me
I
the Edmonton Oilers alternate jerseys.
need to immediately push
going
back
to
on
be
this
a
being a
tough
tougher
one.
call.
I, think
I am
that he
brave
was being
and will
Oh, you're being
say
sarcastic.
facetious.
Yeah.
I don't know what rendering this is, but that's a tiny ass C. That's not. It looks bigger in real life.
that's what they all say.
Too easy. That's a bad jersey.
That jersey fucking sucks.
Yeah. It's,
Like, and I know that
Very, very
jersey taste is subjective. I'm willing to say this jersey fucking sucks objectively. And if you think that it's great, I'm happy for you, but you are also wrong, and I
I
hate
say
you.
it all the time. Everyone's entitled to their own incorrect opinion.
I've never heard anybody say it's great.
I've
have.
seen several Oilers fans
Yeah.
say that it is
I'm
great.
pretty sure
I've seen
Tyler
several
Yaremchuk said
non-Oilers
it was
fans
great.
say that it's great.
Which, if you are a non-Oilers fan and you like this jersey, seek help.
So there's one big reason why I feel like this jersey objectively sucks. And it's because the front of the jersey features the Oilers word mark, which is fine in a vacuum, whatever. It's not
Don't even think
special. It
that's
reminds
true,
me of the NBA Christmas jerseys.
Yep.
But that's like an old school sort of throwback retro style font that makes you think, oh, classic. And then you look at the back of the jersey and you have this modern font and number that just clashes so hard.
It's very reverse retro-esque font.
Yes,
Yeah, it looks like it's
I think that is the.
it looks
font
like they
of-
slapped two different eras on one jersey, and it throws me off like crazy.
The Oilers thing, for a franchise that has so much history, it just screams like faux-back. Like, it's like, this is not, as far as I'm aware,
Correct.
not from a particular thing, but it's supposed to have like a retro kind of heritage feel to it. And then, yeah, the back is just super modern. It doesn't make any sense. It's just a bad jersey.
The front and the back are two different jerseys.
Yeah.
I don't like I really don't like the stripe that goes through the shoulder. I think that's fine on the front, but on the back, maybe it's because there needs to be the gap for the Fanatics logo, but I think that looks really bad. I don't hate this jersey the way that a lot of people do. I think that most of the feedback on this has been like bad jersey, and then a lot of people hate it. I don't hate it. And who knows what it'll look like in action and stuff. And I'm sure that at some point my eyes will get used to it. But think of the other alternates the Oilers have done. Like that you're not just being compared to your own jersey, your normal jersey, which is pretty close to a 10. You're being compared to other creative things that you've done. And we talked about or before the show, Pete, you were talking about the shoulder patch that it has, which is a kind of modern, what I was talking about when we were saying with the Utah thing, like that looks more like what somebody would come up with for a modern logo. Mm-hmm. If that's on the front, it's still not an amazing jersey, but it, I think, has more of an identity.
Yeah,
I like
mean,
them leading into the oil country thing.
It's just pick a direction is my thing. Like I agree with you in that, like it's not so bad that it like burns my eyes or anything. And I think part of the reason I hate it so much is that there could be a good jersey in there somewhere. It's just they didn't really seem to have much of a vision and played two roads and just didn't choose a road. And that pisses me off.
Anybody want to count how many of those patches exist on any one of these jerseys? One. Same thing with the Bruins. They did an
Really?
asymmetrical jersey patch.
Yeah, I mean, I said before the show, it is going to be crucial, folks, if you're buying one of these jerseys, don't get the sponsor patch on it, because the only hope the front of the jersey has of looking cool is kind of leaning into a vintagey type of thing. So I would honestly say get a player that does not have a C or an A, and don't get the sponsor patch.
There's got to be something behind why all these teams are doing one shoulder patch, and I don't know what it is, but there's got to be a reason, because the Rangers did it too.
Oh, did they also?
Well, the Rangers put their
they put their
sponsor up there.
Yes.
And so did the Red Wings, and now multiple teams have unveiled jerseys with a blank shoulder.
But I just don't understand what reason there would be to not just do it immediately.
Oh, good call, Stan. Wouldn't be terrible if you got a blank of this.
Oh,
Because you're avoiding...
You're eliminating the bad part of the jersey.
Well, no, you're eliminating the clash.
Yes.
The bad part of the jersey to me still
Bad
is
part of the
front.
jersey is there no matter what.
Yeah. So
Because
if you
there's
could have
two
a blank
bad
front
things.
jersey, go crazy. I think I said it earlier. I think this jersey looks way better with the, again, you're just making it a reverse retro jersey at this point, but doing the meteor. Also, Buddha James just gave me my worst nightmare of all time.
Yeah,
that
that's
this is a
probably correct.
spot for a second jersey sponsor, and if that's the case,
Maybe they'll have a good logo.
that's bad. Yeah, you also can't have the Bruins and the Oilers be the first teams to go double jersey sponsor. Like, leave that to like a small market team.
Yeah, like the fact that the
We all silly like the mayor.
That is a massive deal.
that is huge.
Whoa. Oh.
Wow.
I have some breaking news.
Yeah?
The Edmonton
Divorced?
Oilers have acquired forward Isaac Howard from the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Oh,
In trade for
way.
forward Sam Riley. They've also signed Howard to a 3-year entry-level contract.
holy
Sam
fuck.
Riley? Wow.
That is a massive deal.
That is huge.
Whoa. Oh.
Wow. Damn. Let's get spicy.
McDavid
Holy
is
smokes.
staying.
All right. All right. Like I cannot wait to send out a bunch of texts after this show and find out what people think of this.
I'm
It's like,
gonna-
both these guys are very highly regarded in terms of young players.
Yeah. I mean, Sam O'Reilly was, if you remember at the Sphere, Oilers traded into the first round, and like they don't have a lot of picks, and they traded into the first round and took a kid out of London. And I was like, this is very cool. We all had COVID, but I was like, this is very cool, but like, what are you fucking doing? Don't like trade future picks. What's going on? Turns out kid's a stud of a prospect. Great season this past year in the OHL, but they turn him into a first round pick from the Tampa Bay Lightning, who would
Higher
not
first round
sign with
pick.
them and was what's that?
A higher first round pick.
Was he 12th overall?
I want to say he was like mid-teens. I don't know for sure off the top of my head.
Okay.
but, I mean, reigning Hobie Baker winner, like 2
Isaac
years
Howard was
older.
drafted 31st
Oh,
overall.
oh no, he wasn't. It wasn't a higher. Like
Famously in
Wasn't higher.
2022, the Lightning would have been drafting. The Lightning had their own pick in 2022?
I don't know.
he was a higher
fuck?
pick. He was a higher pick by one selection. Really oversold.
So
that.
this is not the Rutger McGroarty trade where it was like, we'll trade our 14th overall pick for your 14th overall pick the year before. That's Isaac Howard talk. No, like that is wild. I mean, his stock has been through the roof, as you said. Reigning Hobie Baker winner, was threatening to go back to college if it just was going to go back to college because he was not going to sign with the Lightning. Little whispers that we heard was that he really wanted the red carpet rolled out for him, and the Lightning said, that is not what we do. So they just fucking lost the player. But damn, they get Sam O'Reilly back. That is there were reports that the Oilers had offered a first-round pick, and Tampa said no. I like the idea of saying, yeah, give me O'Reilly instead. That's a huge trade. That is like,
Yeah.
that is Delman Young for Matt Garza is what that is.
implications for years to come. And it's like one of those fun ones to watch because like we don't really know who wins right now. Obviously, like anybody can throw out their projections of who these guys are and the impact that they're going to have, but like it's going to be fun to watch just like how these two guys compare and who comes out on top here. Like that's such a fun trade.
Oh, man, I will lose my mind if Sam O'Reilly ends up becoming an absolute stud, which it looks like he's going to. But Isaac Howard, a 5'10" left wing out of Hudson, Wisconsin. A lot of Americans on the Edmonton Oilers these days. What's going on with that? They got Ty Emberson. They got Trent Frederick on that sweetheart of a deal. Oh, man.
It does seem like there's a lot of American players going to Canadian markets. Like the Montreal Canadiens are just like filled with Americans that I love.
Okay,
so really dislike that.
I'm going to just text Cam Robinson now and just be like,
what do you think?
Give me an elevator pitch on this guy beyond that. And, like every team's fan base was saying, trade for this guy. Trade for this guy. Trade your first round pick for this guy. And it ends up being Edmonton, who they've said McDavid wants them to get younger. I don't know if I totally believe that. I bet he's not happy that they didn't bring back Corey Perry. You know, I can't imagine he's thrilled that Connor Brown walked out the door. But if this guy's going to have an impact soon, and you have Savoy coming in, and you have Isaac Howard, so that is a nice little job by Mr. Bowman of making a little chicken salad.
I mean, it's also a nice job of Julian Brisebois. Like, I know that like people are saying that the Lightning got in their own way with Isaac Howard, and I'm sure partially that's true. But like, if a guy says he's out on you and he's done, and you look like you're going to lose that first round pick, to then turn him into like another very promising prospect, it's a good bit of work. Like, I don't hate it. But yeah, I mean, you're right. Like, there's now an injection of youth into the Edmonton Oilers lineup, and that's going to be pretty exciting to watch. And I like, what a position for that kid to be in, to step in. And he signed. Sean, you said he signed his ELC.
Yes, he did. I don't see any details on it, but he did.
Oh,
ELC.
So the assumption would be like he's going to be on the team next year. Which fuck yeah. Because like he wants to be in the NHL. That's the reason why he's not. There's a reason why he's not a Tampa Bay Lightning.
Damn, I mean, I thought he wanted to burn it at the end of this year,
right?
And Tampa said no because they don't play that. Which Tampa do business. I mean, I'm not one to tell Julian Brisebois what to do, but
that's not rolling out the red carpet necessarily. Like look at what happened across the league last year. The year before, like this is what the NHL is now. Like those years get burned if you have a high profile prospect. This guy just won the Hobey Baker. Like I feel like I mean, respect for standing on business if you're the Tampa Bay Lightning and that's how you want to run your organization. But like, you know, I don't know. It's a crazy outcome here, but I love the excitement and I love the kind of attention that we now have to pay to two players.
Yeah, I mean, I'll let you in a little secret. I was going to be paying a lot of attention to Sam O'Reilly, no matter what. Now, yes, I'll continue to, but I definitely had intentions of paying attention to Sam O'Reilly. Damn, so I have so many questions about what this means lineup wise, and I will not get into it. But if we do, in fact, post this as like an immediate reaction to the Sam O'Reilly for Isaac Howard trade, there's now like, do you play Nugent Hopkins because you signed Andrew Mangiapane, and yeah, you lost a lot of forwards, but you brought back Kapanen. Do you play Nugent Hopkins at third line center, which I think is probably the best place for him to play, and give Mangiapane to McDavid and play Draisaitl with some kids? Like, do you give him Savoy and Isaac Howard?
I was gonna say Jazz tweeted that exact thing out. Like asked if we get Howard, Draisaitl, Savoy at some point next year.
That would be so electric.
I mean, that's the best line. That's my favorite line in hockey.
It's so electric.
My favorite line in hockey is Draisaitl plus 2 people, but like that is.
I cannot have that happen. I am living in a world currently where the Buffalo Sabres won the Ryan McLeod trade. I cannot have Savoy on the same line with arguably the best playmaker in the sport.
I mean, he's not
Just
even the best
selfishly.
playmaker on his own team, but yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
sure, but-
it is man, what a win for Isaac Howard to be like, all right, cool. You don't want to roll it out for me. I'm not playing for your fucking team. Then you get traded and like you step into the NHL and you're on Leon Draisaitl's wing immediately, assuming that's what happens. Like, oh my God, what a win for that kid.
Joke's on him. He has to pay income tax.
We all silly like the mayor.